What should you do when a client just seems to keep ignoring your requests? Hi guys, my name is Deepak Shukla, founder at the Pearl Lemon Group. We're a business growth and development agency based in the UK, USA, as well as serving clients worldwide. And here today, in day number 52, we're here to talk about those clients that frustratingly ignore your requests and how to deal and manage with them. But before we get into it, if you need any support with your communications training within your teams or with your clients, please do reach out to us and click the link in the description below to get access to our 7 additional strategies that are not shared in this training. So look, fundamentally, you're going to, more often than you think actually, you're going to have clients that just don't listen to your requests. And requests can range from things such as needing, it really of course depends upon the nature of the work that you're doing with your client and what the requests are. But a good example on the SEO side, to be honest with you, good examples on every side of the business include response times, updating information, sending across documents as needed. These are good areas where there's often challenges. Challenges become even more slow and onerous when you require something that doesn't even involve sending across attachments, for example, but making technical changes or producing content as an example, especially where the client does not have a system set up for a request that you make. It ends up getting it ends up falling upon deaf ears, and that in of itself becomes a problem. So with all of that in mind, you are going to have clients that simply just ignore your requests. So what do you do in those instances? There's a couple of things that I think you should consider when it comes to just kind of chasing clients, if you will. So number one, depending upon the nature of what someone says, and this is something that you need to think about, that some clients will say, look, Deepak, I don't have time to do this, and I'm not going to have time anytime soon. But being persistent is definitely a good place to start. So being persistent, that's the first thing. Or rather, it's not the first thing. First thing is you want to find out why it's being ignored. So that would involve chasing the client. So being persistent. So in a way, this does come first because you're persistent with the chase. You want to find out why it's being ignored. You want to find out why it's being ignored. You want to, and as before with the account manager, you want to offer alternative solutions if there's a reason that's legitimate why a client is ignoring the request, because a client can ignore your request but not ignore you. So offering alternative solutions could definitely be a plan. Pleading with your client, especially where, and again, let me define pleading. It's like, please, Frank, just can you get this done for us? It's going to help. Pleading with your, please, Frank, can you really support us with this? It would mean a lot. So simply pleading, please, Frank, if you get this done, you'd save my skin. Please, Frank, if you could get this sent across to me, it's going to really help. So just asking nicely, I think, and then aligning the request with their commercial goals. So then aligning the request with their commercial goals is going to be important. And and that could be, and there's two ways to do that. That's the missing out on additional value or damaging the campaign. And if it's stuff that's damaging the campaign, if it's stuff that's damaging the campaign, then clients in a way are definitely more likely to react, but the reaction won't always be positive. We've had some times where we're suggesting to a client, look, we really need content, we really need content. And then they ended up stopping SEO, which they were paying us for, so they could go away and get content done. So we ended up losing there, which was interesting. So you need to understand the balance between, well, how you basically frame the request and how you manage a request depending upon the clients. So just understanding, just being empathetic I mean, practicing empathy is going to really help, because then you can ask the questions, well, why is the client ignoring it? Is this important to the client's goals, even though it's important to yours? What is the client currently working upon? Would this, would it not being done be detrimental to the campaign? And also, um, plan how to. So this is the other thing that I think that's quite important, that you need to get results. You need to get results even if the client doesn't do it, okay? Because fundamentally, most of the time, a lot of the time, when a client ignores a request, that request isn't likely to to get done. But there's a lot of times clients won't do it. They just it doesn't change. And after all of that said and done, the client will still expect a result. So you still need to really figure that out, even if the client is ignoring your request and it's not getting done. And the other way, that a good way of doing that, and this comes to offer alternative solutions, fix the. So there's also a call that you can take where you can just produce something or fix something where you know it's going to get ultimately a good long-term commercial result, but it might come at a short-term hit to you where and when you think it's relevant. Because ultimately, if you think, for example, if we take the instance of performing or running an SEO campaign for a client, and whilst you're building links, you're fixing technical problems, there's just not enough content. There's 5,000 more words of content that's being needs to be written. You can at some points just take it upon yourself to produce the content and say, hey, Mr. Client, we just went ahead and did this, once you see the request is being ignored. So there's definitely times where when clients ignore your requests, you might just, even if it comes at a cost to your business, go ahead and get it done yourself, depending upon the circumstance. But certainly, here's 8 things that you can consider when it comes to dealing with clients who ignore your requests. Please do, if you're enjoying these videos, comment in the description below with your takeaways, as well as just subscribe if you're enjoying these videos, because clients and the clients that ignore your request is definitely a complex area, but hopefully these 8 strategies provide you with something of a roadmap.